and it's
a couple.
Yeah, and it's not even bad apples for Ferguson in this case. It was just a simple oversight. Yeah, so if he hadn't bled on them, if he'd had the courtesy to bleed on the floor, the cement floor that he was supposed to sleep on, well, then none of this would have been a problem.
A lot of it's his fault for being black, right?
What?
Cop kills man and his wife.
Cops in Moore, Oklahoma beat a man to death even though he did absolutely nothing wrong. Now, a family of 3 were walking out of a movie theater. Now, it was a husband, wife, and their 19-year-old daughter. The wife and the daughter got into some sort of argument, and the argument ended with the wife slapping her across her face. Then she felt very upset about it and started walking toward the car. As she was doing that, her husband, Luis Rodriguez, was following her to the car. Now, at that point, police arrived to the scene because they were already there for some unrelated incident, and they started asking him questions. The way that it ended is apparently they had asked him for ID. That's what the police is alleging. And Luis Rodriguez told them, hey, mind your own business. This is a family issue. It's a family matter. He refused to give them ID. And then they proceeded to beat him and spray his face with pepper spray. Now, we have a video that we're about to show you that's very, very difficult to watch. It is graphic, but it's the video that his wife was taking as the police were beating him up. And you can hear her screaming and asking
I can't wait till I get my money straight so I can get me a haircut at the house and have my barber come to my house, you know.
Yeah, man, I got a personal barber. You ain't got to worry about me. Yeah. It's just a whole little old heat coming about me, man. Getting over this little sickness.
Luis, please.
All down, sir.
Luis, are you okay?
You got a barber,
He's here,
nutritionist.
Hold on, let me find my tail, man.
I'm right. All right, that's me. So I got medical.
Barber, nutritionist.
Yeah, man, I got people that take care of me. You know, somebody loves me around this bitch. Want to see me survive? Shit. They don't want to see how I'm going out yet.
All the way to the top, baby.
Yeah, they gonna give me at least give me at least 20 more years, man. I'll be ready. You know what I'm saying? You take me on that. I ain't tripping. I ain't going out like that. That's for damn sure. The cops won't kill me. I let these motherfuckers stress me out before I let the cops kill me.
No weapon, no gun. He stopped breathing when they put him onto the emergency truck, and they got him to the hospital. He was in stable condition momentarily, and then he stopped breathing again. Yeah. He died as a result of this, and the daughter did talk to the press. She said 5 guys got on top of him, beating him ruthlessly on the head, just pow, 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 even with knees. When they flipped him over, you could see all the blood on his face. He was disfigured. You couldn't recognize him.
They always go to like nuclear reaction. Not always, I know, but so many stories where, okay, there's 5 of you. The guy didn't give you ID. You don't even, you were called in because of a dispute between the mom and the daughter, but you immediately go to the guy. You don't know that he did anything wrong. In fact, the only information you have is that it doesn't involve him at all. Right? If you have any information...
This shit is crazy.
Say, man, my girl was drunk one time. She stayed out there in the apartments when I first started. Look, you know, I'm trying to get her to go in the house, man. She's sitting out there in between the pool and the sidewalk crying in the grass.
She drunk.
I say, this don't look good. I'm finna go in the house. I left her sitting out there for about 2-3 hours. Then I went back out there and got her. But it took me 45 minutes to get her from like the street to the door.
It is of a 17-year-old girl named Christiana Koigner. Now, we're going to show you the video here. Obviously, if you're uncomfortable with it, don't watch it. It's in 3 sections here, so you get the whole story of how this thing went down. Now, it turns out that she had mental illness issues, depression, bipolar disorder. This should be fairly honest because she shows up at a police headquarters.
I'm depressed.
I got all the issues. I got anger issues. I'm a little disturbed my goddamn self.
I got anger issues. I hear voices.
I'm depressed, anxiety, high blood pressure.
Yeah, high blood pressure. When I'm by myself, I hear voices.
I hope that don't get me killed.
I hear people singing.
She asked for a police officer.
As long as I don't tell the police, it's gonna be okay.
Now, the shooting's not gonna happen for quite some time.
They shot.
She in the bank?
At first, perfectly normal. They're having a conversation. Now, look, you can nitpick a lot of things that went wrong here. You know, as soon as she starts saying things that are threatening, which apparently happened fairly early on, and that's why he's trying to get her down, and then you begin to have a confrontation. I wish that in other parts of Texas, like San Antonio, they have training for this. How do you deal with people who are mentally ill? I wish that we had a situation where they could have called in specialists.
You're not supposed to grab
figure
him.
out how to deal with it. So he's trying to subdue her on his own. He's much larger than her, but obviously she's fighting back. Okay. Now, he's about to take out.
Still don't shoot no teenage girl. You're a man, bro.
Taser, and then they tased her, and it didn't work.
What'd she do wrong?
You know, look, we have this fuzzy video of it, and I think I largely take them at their word on that. That's your call on whether you do or not. But he's so far, I really don't see any more. He's trying to subdue her. I wish he'd call an specialist. But there he's taking the object out, and it looks like, and we haven't paused it here. They're just still for an awfully long time. He appears to be tasing her. And
you shouldn't be able to do that to nobody.
She looks perfectly subdued at that point, but she won't continue in that state. She won't get up and fight back. It's amazing how long this is going on. But as long as he's not shooting her.
Yeah, that taser don't affect mentally ill people like it affect regular people.
If she's threatening them, they do have to find a way to restrain her. They do have to handcuff her.
Who is they?
But the issue's going to come up when we put the taser away.
He Patel'd her.
Her down. Look, it looks terrible, but at some point you got to handcuff her. I get it, right? And if you brought in 2 or 3 more people that would be fine, maybe that could help.
Did he handcuff him?
But I'm okay all the way up to there. But he just got up and he reaches for the gun.
He didn't try to cuff her.
Or at least I thought she was handcuffed it out.
He didn't try to cuff her.
Another option, right? And you know you got somebody here that's, yes, I agree with you, hard to handle, but obviously has some mental issues. She comes into a police headquarters starting threatening you.
No,
now,
she was in a police
there were several different threats. They say that she had written on her hand, "I have a gun." What? Or she could have had a gun in her hand. That would have been the other way to go. But she didn't have a gun in her hand. She just had written, "I have a gun" on her hand. That's not a real threat. I mean, look, I'm not saying don't be careful. Okay, she's got, baggy jacket, backpack on there. Of course, be careful. Right? But, right? It's not the most threatening thing I've ever seen. Now, they also claim that she pulled a knife. Now, we're about to see the end of the video.
Shoot, man, Mr. Patel is paralyzed, dude.
Please don't watch, because they do honestly.
And they face dunked him in the driveway at his son's house. Face planted. You seen both of his feet come up behind him, and when they picked him up, he paralyzed. His feet was just dragging him down the sidewalk to the police car. Man, his feet was limping.
3 officers.
He paralyzed.
Now, there's 3 of them. Good. Okay, easier to subdue her.
100% paralyzed.
The original guy's got his gun drawn. She charges at him. Boom, he puts her down. And then they shoot at her several times.
How many? Yeah, everybody pull their gun out.
The original officer fired his gun 3 times, and Bagley, the other officer, fired her gun twice. The female. Okay. So they
5 times for 1 person.
They say that she had a knife, and as you saw, she was charging towards them. So, look, if you're looking to find the most egregious case of police overreaction in the country, this probably isn't it. Okay. Only because there's been things that are far, far worse.
I don't know if he's taking up for the law right now.
12-year-old being shot.
He's trying to
people that
be
are completely
politically
unarmed,
correct.
shot as they're running away. We've seen all those cases, right? There's 3 of you there. Now, look, I'm just saying something like it. We'll find
Speaking of it, he on Shark Tank.
but hear me out on it, and judge for yourself whether it would have been a better way. There's nobody else in the room.
He could have cuffed you when he got on the ground.
Why do you guys all leave the room? Oh, we're not going to back down with cops, right? Oh, if she's charging at me, I'm going to put her down. No, I know, but you know what you could do? I know it hurts your ego. Is you could actually leave the room, get out of the room, because she's mentally ill. It's obvious. Why else would she do this, right? And then
in the police station, she pushed the police
come in with more protection.
I thought she was in a bus station or something.
But that's what I'm telling you.
I ain't seen nothing in no police thing, no badge. I ain't seen no pictures of no officers. This Texas, they put the pictures on the wall.
You're not willing to ever back down, partly out of ego and pride, right? And you're not willing to take the time to figure out a better solution and to take any degree of risk with your health or welfare.
They gonna fuck with the wrong dude, and he gonna walk away.
Even taking a 1%.
Gonna be some dead people laying on the ground, and he gonna walk off. Watch.
But I just told you what I wanted.
Somebody gonna knock off of that shit.
I want to come up with a better solution because he's the guy we have trusted to have the authority to have a gun and to be able to use that gun and kill people. That's a heavy, heavy.
Yeah. Check out the little kid. The little kid in the stripes.
again, I think most people are not going to look at this and think it's the most egregious case of police abuse they've seen.
Earlier this year, 2 women got into a traffic dispute in Barstow, California.
They in Barstow.
One was white and one was black.
California.
You can see a couple of races here, and I want you to stick through it. And
Black
bear
people in
in
Barstow.
mind, if you're watching them, this don't bother.
Remember on the watch where Chong pull up on that scooter? He said, "Man, I just rode all the way from Barstow County." He said, "Yeah." He said, "You rode away from Barstow?" Snoop said, "You crazy motherfucker." He said, "You rode on that?" He said, "Yeah, man."
On that movie right there?
Yeah. All the way from Barstow, man. That's a long ride. The pregnant black lady?
She was doing all that? That's a white lady?
It's a white lady talking.
Okay. Did your window damage? Anything damage at all?
No, scared the hell out of me, and I'm like, I'm calling the police. She's like, call the police. She's screaming at me.
Okay. I don't see you right now. I don't see a crime that has been committed. There was damage that would give you the opportunity to place her on the citizen's arrest if you wanted to. I don't see any crime. I'm going to document her name, tell you a story of
Is the cop retarded?
story where
What's the cop talking?
and then this and that.
Where the black chick is?
I'm gonna document it.
They ain't showing the black chick.
I ain't seen the black chick yet.
Okay.
I think she left the scene.
That is the dispute from the first point of view. In this next video, you're going to see the account of Charlena Michelle Cooks, who has a very different view.
A pregnant chick.
I do, man.
Let me see. I want to look like you. Person pregnant chick.
She was honking and honking. So I was like, what you want? She was like, you cannot park right. I mean, you cannot drive out here. This is a one-lane thing. She was like, this is a one-lane thing. I'm gonna hit your car. Just go. Just go. I said, who are you talking to like that? So I parked, walked my daughter up in here, and was like, what? You have a problem? Because you talking to me like I'm your child or something. You know, you can say something like it's a one-lane thing, but I never known it to be a one-lane thing because I always see two lanes, 2 cars driving through. Right. So then she just acting all scared and stuff because she just, I don't know.
Well, she said you threw some on her car.
No, ain't nobody looking at her car.
She said you got out and hit her window.
My daughter was scared.
Okay.
My second grader was scared.
Somebody lying.
Exactly. She just called the police for whatever reason, I don't know.
Well, you know, some people just feel like sometimes they're, you know,
So like her because she white.
Was that?
She's white and she's making threats to me. I feel threatened by her. I just went in here and let them know because I know she's white.
Okay.
So there, you hear the story from 2 points of view there, and at this point, the cop has already said on the film that he doesn't believe that any crime has been committed. You don't see him asking the first woman for her name, but he is going to ask Charlena Michelle Cook for her name. And bear in mind, she is not legally required in California to provide it, but he asked, and then this happened.
I'm not giving you my name.
Oh, yeah, I actually do have the right to ask you for your name in this case, okay? Okay. Well, how long is it going to be for you to make sure, okay?
Let me make sure because I'm not going to harass.
Well, you know what, ma'am? I have every right to ask you for your name, okay?
You still got a 15-year criminal justice degree for being a cop.
She ain't doing nothing wrong, though.
Ma'am, I'm only
She's not complying.
2 minutes.
She's doing all right. She called and said, I'm seeing.
That's why you give her 2 minutes, because you know.
Okay,
She's not complying.
just give me your name, please. Give
Give
me your name.
me your name, please.
No, it's not good enough. Okay, let's go 15.
No, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. What the fuck is going on? Do not touch me.
She ain't did nothing wrong. She was going to follow her rights, bro. She ain't got to give up nothing.
The white lady said she hit the window, man.
Yeah, but she did. Because the officer said, I don't believe a crime has been committed.
So why are you doing
You
that?
harassing this black lady. That's what they saying, bro. That's what they getting at. Look, slamming this girl on the ground. On her stomach, bro.
Why are you resisting?
he got a, I don't know, bag.